All right, everyone, I'm here at CNN, the Piers Morgan headquarters, right? The new show on CNN with Steve Krakauer. He graduated in 2006. Tell us a little bit about what you studied at SU, Steve.
Yeah, I was a broadcast journalism major at Newhouse, political science, African American studies minor. But yeah, I thought when I was at Newhouse, going something in the broadcast journalism world, ended up kind of going a little bit on a tangent, I guess. I ended up as a page at NBC, and then into the world of kind of covering CNN at some websites before coming here.
So what is your advice? We have so many students studying to be on TV, to be working in television. What is it that's made you, I mean, you work at CNN, everyone knows CNN. What is it that got you here? What kind of work went into it?
Yeah, well, I think it's about maybe broadening your dream job a little bit. The great thing about the media world now, as certain traditional jobs go away, a lot of non-traditional media broadcast jobs open up. And I think there are more jobs now in the last couple of years than maybe there were even as I was graduating in 2006. They're just a little slightly variations of what the broadcast world is. And so like I mentioned, I was at TV Newser at Media Bistro for a year and a half. I was at this startup company when I joined it, which was Mediaite.com. Dan Abrams, a former broadcast journalist, or current broadcast journalist at ABC as well, started these websites and kind of covering the TV and the media world. And really what it does is it keeps up your contacts there, and it gets it gets you out there in the world. And I loved it there. I had a great experience. I could have done that longer, and then I ended up when this job opened up, another sort of startup feel, new show, right, and jumped over. And now as the digital producer, it's kind of using both those worlds. The web side that I worked on, and now kind of transitioning into the broadcast role.
We tell our students, if you're going to be successful in this business now, you better understand social media. That's a huge part of your day-to-day, right?
Absolutely. I found it so interesting. When I was at, even 2006, we weren't really doing anything with the social media world.
I don't think we had Twitter. I didn't tweet in 2006, that's for sure.
No, I certainly didn't either. Yeah. And now, when I went to visit last year in February, it was just great to see that even now that they're starting to incorporate things like Skype and Twitter into the daily life of a Newhouse student, and I think it's so huge. Part of my job, in addition to running the website and doing the kind of the day-to-day editorial side of contributing to the show, is running the Piers Tonight Twitter feed, running the Piers Tonight Facebook page. We're going to be expanding with Flickr and Tumblr and some other areas as well. And really, when I got here, my first goal was to teach Piers Morgan Twitter. Which was something.
How has that gone?
Yeah, I would say that's been one of the successes since I've been here. I mean, Piers was never used it, but was very anti-Twitter just from hearing about it.
Right.
And starting to teach him how to use it and kind of what you're looking to do with it and what you can do with it as a promotional level, but also as connecting with kind of a two-way street with connecting with viewers and with fans of yours. And he's obviously fully embraced it now. He's got 425,000 followers, and he's just obsessed with the thing now. He's a Twitter addict, and that's really helped our show. I mean, it's a key component to a lot of shows now. I think a show will not do well unless it has a strong web social media component to it.
Right.
But for us, it's just essential. I mean, we really have a good connection, I think, and you see it on TV. You see the Facebook and the Twitter, and it's on there, so people can connect it. When the show's not on the air for 23 hours of the day, you can find content constantly.
I think some students get nervous when we say the word networking. You need to network your way into positions. I tell them you're almost too late. If a position has been posted on a jobs board, you want to be the one to know about that position before it becomes one. What's been your experience networking to get to where you are?
Yeah, I think, again, I don't know if networking, it's sort of like a dirty word in some way, because you think of it and you're like, oh, I don't want to go to a networking event or something, but really networking happens all the time, I feel like. When I was at an NBC page, which was really my first job out of Newhouse, or out of Syracuse, was really a great gauge into that. I mean, you're at the very bottom rung of NBC. You are the person wearing the peacock tie and the blue blazer.
Right.
But what it does is, look, you have an NBC email address, and you have access to the database. Go have meetings with people. I emailed Bob Costas and said, I'd love to meet with you. And his assistant gets back to me in 2 months. He'll talk to you for an hour. great. You know,
sure, I'll take it. Yeah.
But it's those sort of things that you end up making the contacts there. You know, I with each of my jobs, I feel like I got because of the job I had before that. You know, and whether it was, you know, with TV Newser, my boss was formerly at MSNBC, so knew of the Page program a little bit, and I was able to talk to him a little bit about that. And I was also in the building at NBC there, and so you know, all of that helps in when you go for, you know, drinks or coffee or dinner or lunch with someone, and you know, if you keep it so that it's not outwardly like a you know, keep me in mind for the next job opening. But people do. You know, people remember you, and you know, the good things kind of come around, I think.
Is there one thing that students should be doing now, whether they're freshmen, whether they're seniors, you know, to position themselves to leave the hallowed halls of Newhouse and, you know, no longer getting food at Brockway or up at Haven Hall? I think that's actually closed now, that dining hall. But
really?
Yeah, is there something they should be doing while they're on the Hill to well position themselves for when they're paying rent and they're going to work every day and they're not drinking every Thursday or Friday night or whatever it is? I mean, what's your advice on that?
You know, separately from networking, it's about, I think, positioning yourself as, in some way, knowing who you are and helping your own personal brand. And, you know, whether that's starting a blog or a Tumblr or, you know, getting on Twitter and Facebook, you know, there are people who have been hired at this show because of connections they've made to, you know, to executives at CNN or to producers at CNN through Twitter or through Facebook.
Really?
You know, and you say, hey, you know, I just start interacting. Also has a website. On the website, there's the resume. Great, you know, get out of college, you've got a job. You know, it's about helping, I think, yourself, and it's really doing it in a way that's not fake. You know, it's good to do it organically. I mean, what you're interested in, if it's you know, news, or if it's, you know, pottery, or if it's whatever it is, I think it's important to know that and to embrace that and to kind of work your way into that community. I think it's really important to get on these tools that people use now in the workplace and do it in a way that is, you know, we talk a lot about like Facebook, you know, and how it's kind of changed from when I was in college. I know, where I just posted any pictures and friended anyone. And now, you know, we get an internship application, and the first thing you do is go to Facebook and look up the person, and you want to see that they're smart enough to set it to private, you know, and it's the same thing with Twitter. I mean, you do it in a way that is, you know, it doesn't have to be totally professional, but keep it fun, but keep it as an asset rather than a thing to hide.
Students ask us that too. Should I have my Twitter private? And we always say, no, tweet away.
Definitely not. I mean, I think you open it up, and through this, I mean, I look up another thing that someone I met through a CNN event before I even started here, who was an intern, ended up getting an internship through college. I think she was at NYU in Cairo, and this was, you know, a few months ago. All of a sudden, you know, everything, you know,
explodes.
Hits the fan in Egypt, and she becomes sort of a journalist reporter just because she had made the contacts at CNN. She's active on Twitter, and people who start noticing these things say, oh, you know, Lauren's a great person to follow on Twitter. She gets on CNN talking about it. You know, it's these kind of things where it's just doing it in a way that it's not all professional. You know, she'll go out to lunch and take a picture or something. But it's doing it in a way that it can be valuable to your future rather than be something you'd want to keep hidden.
All right, fantastic. Steve Krakauer, class of 2006, actually a classmate of mine, everyone.
First class ever at
Syracuse. First class ever, Com 107, right? Or were we in the Com 100 together also? Anyway, well, thank you so much, Steve, for sharing your career story. And anyone can contact you. Hopefully students can reach out, network with you as well.
Absolutely. At Steve Krak on Twitter.
All right, follow him. You heard it. At Steve Krak. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Kim.